Nick and Steve, and your midweek political check-in. Broadcasting live on the Really American Media platform. We're slogging through another political swamp, thick with nonsense and bad intentions. Let's cut through the poo-poo and throw a little light on the chaos before it buries us all. We don't care if you chew gum during the podcast, but no blowing bubbles. Alrighty then, without further ado, here's Nick and Bubbles. Steve. Holy moly. Take it away, gentlemen.
I think it's fair to say that we're slogging through the actual bullshit. We can set the poo-poo aside and bring on the adult conversation. Welcome one, welcome all. The vocal minority with Nick and Steve here again.
Yeah, back Tuesday. Although I'm happy and sad to say this is our last show for a week. Nick has got exotic travels coming up. Or maybe he's just given up on society. One of the two. We'll find out which.
I'd say it's the former. So, yeah, I haven't given up. I just I need a little break here. That's it. Need a little break. We won't be on Friday, but we'll be back at it next Tuesday. So, yeah.
Assuming there's a democracy and a country left standing.
Yeah. Is there free speech left by that point? We'll have to see.
I don't know. Hey, listen, speaking of getting free with your speech, if you'd like to email us, you can do it, thevocalminority.net. That is our very own website that we paid a lot of money for. So if you go there and click on the, I think it's contact us or something. I don't even know.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly right. And you know what? I don't know. We've been telling people, hey, go take a look, reach out to the program. A lot of you have been doing it, so we appreciate that very much.
Yes. I do want to highlight the guy from Germany that emailed us.
Yes.
I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's hilarious. Some guy from Germany emailed us and he was like, hey, listen, big fan. Love to hear you guys talking about everything there in America. But for the love of God, could you distinguish between Germany and Nazi Germany? Because we often say, like, this is the kind of stuff you see in Germany. And the guy's like, please, that was a long time ago. There's Germany and there is Nazi Germany.
It's a fair ask, dude.
It is.
Having been in Germany in the last year or so, that's not what Germany is nowadays. So, yeah, it's definitely a fair ask. So
I also love the Germany. It's like, don't compare us to America right now. That's offensive to us.
It's very sad, dude, to be, in the same company, as it were.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And the chat room's starting to fill up, and you guys comment there. We'll share some on screen. We'll respond to some. And Jazz here has said 3 times, invoke the 25th Amendment. Well, I believe that's where we're going to start today's fine show at.
Yeah. Well, let's hop into it.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news.
Stand by, Jazz. We're getting into the 25th Amendment and invoking it. Okay?
Yeah, and I know this is a liberal fantasy that we've all had dating back to Trump's first term and maybe since day one of this term, which, by the way, happy 1-year anniversary. We know how much Trump likes 1-year-olds, so I'm sure he's excited today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've got a video we'll play later. I bet you can't believe it, but he has been bragging about what's been done in the first term, so we'll get into that later.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, invoking the 25th Amendment has been a bit of a liberal wet dream. A different Steve here says they won't invoke the 25th. It invalidates the entire regime. That's a great question. I never envisioned myself wanting to beg for a President Vance to finally just go ahead and take over, but it seems to be where we're at. And the calls are growing from beyond just us libs or people that have 2 eyeballs.
Why do you say that?
I'm just hearing it a lot. Editorial boards are writing it. We have some electeds. Granted, they're Democrats, but it's rare for Democratic elected officials to come out and say, like, it's time to invoke the 25th Amendment. And I'll get into a first article I have here on that topic, but I really feel like we need to read this letter. And I know most of our astute audience has already read it, but I just feel like going line by line is really important right now because this letter that he wrote to Norway, it's insane. I mean, it's fucking insane. It's authoritarian dictator bullshit. It ignores history. And I really do think we have a mad king running the country, more so than anything else I've argued about for the last year. So shall we dissect it?
Yes, I've got it up on the screen here. We can take a peek.
First of all, he says, "Dear Jonas," which is funny. That's their prime minister's first name. I didn't know they were on a first name basis. Or in case you thought he was talking to the Jonas Brothers.
Could be.
Considering your country, and country's capitalized, I don't know if that's accurate, but considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, grammatically incorrect, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. Because God knows he's always thought about what is good and proper.
And apparently what's good and proper for the United States isn't peace, because he, doesn't
No
have to think
longer.
about peace any longer. So.
Doesn't have to. And so, yeah, I mean, just the first part, the fact that he's equating it to the fucking Nobel Peace Prize. We know he's a raging narcissist and the biggest sore loser there is, but that is beyond petty. And way to make sure you never win the thing, by the way.
Who knows, dude? Who knows? This is a reality that we're living in that seems unrealistic. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? He could win the Nobel Peace Prize for taking over Greenland. Who knows, dude, what's going to happen at this point? We're living in fantasy land here.
Right. He may win the Nobel taking a piece of the planet prize, but no. All right, let me just get through the rest of this. Denmark cannot protect that land from Russia or China. And why do they have a right of ownership anyway? There are no written documents. It's only that a boat landed there hundreds of years ago, but we had boats landing there also. I have done more for NATO than any other person since its founding, and now NATO should do something for the United States. The world is not secure unless we have complete, capitalized, and total control, capitalized, of Greenland. Let's just put aside the grammatical errors for a moment here. I am cracking up at the part about what right of ownership. There are no written documents, just some boats landed there a few hundred years ago. That's sort of how the entire planet came to be. Like people drifted, invaded, and then we got into modern times. And whoever had their little piece, now you have it. And now we're not going to go land a boat there and say, hey, we're going to try this game all over again.
Can you imagine somebody in the cabinet being like, pull up the paperwork on Texas? Like, I want to take a look at that contract that we signed for that land area.
Right. And I believe this country founded by some people showing up on a boat one day and just saying like, hey, we like this place. I think we're going to take this, even though there were people here already. I mean, that's how everything started, is people wandered into some piece of land and then fights happened. And now it is whose it is. Yeah. And what is he expecting? A lease agreement with Greenland or something? What does he mean there's no paperwork? As if that invalidates anything.
It's unbelievable. I mean, this coming from a guy who disobeys contracts even when there is some sort of agreement, always trying to get out of them, suing people in court. Oh, that's not what we meant. But, what does it mean that there's no agreement? They're living there. They're paying, there is an army there. We've got a base there that basically has been said, like they even said, hey, if you guys want more control of what's going on, if you want to expand your forces here, 100% on board with it, dude. Let's get into that. But you are not going to take us over, dude. That's delusional, crazy. It's crazy, dude.
Yes, it is. It truly is. And I've seen a few people, like, he didn't commit a crime. That's not what we're talking about. Or someone else, there's so many comments coming in, said, he's not sick or something. Well, that's highly debatable, okay? I mean, his mental state is not okay. And his sickness, I mean, we see the bruising and everything else. But I believe the 25th can just be declared if you find the president to be incapable of holding that office anymore. If he's a danger to himself and others, and clearly he is. I mean, as we've talked about, like, Greenland is not home to narco-terrorists or not smuggling fentanyl here. Like, they're a peaceful, small little nation run by Denmark. We're all allies. We're all in NATO together. Russia's not going after Greenland. Neither is China. We already have military bases. It's insanity. He obviously, wants their natural resources, just like Venezuela. He wants to redraw the map, like we have said 100 times. But now we find out that, he is snubbed that he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, as if the country of Denmark even controls that, per se. I know their government appoints the board that then decides that. But, I mean, what the fuck, man? This is truly the lowest. This has to be the lowest of lows right now.
I would think so. People all across the world are up in arms about this and think it's just as crazy as we are. He writes a letter saying, considering your country did not give me the Nobel Peace Prize, all of this hinging upon that, but then comes out with this video.
No, I don't care about the Nobel Prize. First of all, a very fine woman felt that I deserved it and really wanted me to have the Nobel Prize, and I appreciate that. If anybody thinks that Norway doesn't control the Nobel Prize, they're just kidding. They have a board, but it's controlled by Norway, and I don't care what Norway says. But I really don't care about that. What I care about is saving lives.
You seem to
and
care
I think
about
I've saved tens of millions of lives.
Oh,
If
wow.
you look at India, Pakistan, just as won 2 nuclear powers. You look at so many of the countries that were in a 30, in some cases, a 35-year war, and I got it done. We stopped 8 wars, and maybe we'll be stopping a 9th very soon. We'll see.
He doesn't care about it, though.
Stopping a 9th war when he invades Greenland and then stops. Is
Yeah.
that what he's referring to? And Vince here, it has to be backed by the VP. Yes, that's what we're freaking saying. His cabinet has got to snap out of it and get into reality. The Mad King is out of control. The entire world, like Nick just said, is aghast, up in arms. We're about to destroy a freaking almost 100-year-long alliance with Europe and the NATO nations. Like, this is crazy. As Violet says, he's fucking nuts. Like, truly. Truly. And, tens of millions, he said. Like, he's nuts. Like, when are we going to stop this? When is Congress going to finally step in and say, enough? This is insanity.
I don't know that it's going to happen, to be honest with you. Not here anyway. Here's a great video of a Danish member of the European Parliament. This is how it should all be.
Thank you. Urmează domnul Anders Vistisen.
Let me put this in words you might understand. Mr. President, fuck off.
Right.
It's the nicest way to say fuck off I've ever seen, by the way. Fuck off, okay, please?
You got to speak his language. So, yeah, it's true. And so today, Senator Ed Markey, Democrat, Massachusetts, calling on President Donald Trump's cabinet and Vice President J.D. Vance to remove him from office via the 25th Amendment. Markey shared the New York Times headline about Trump's letter to Norwegian's prime minister, which noted that since he was not awarded the prize, he no longer feels an obligation to think purely of peace. Invoke the 25th Amendment, Markey replied, referring to the constitutional process by which the vice president and a majority of the cabinet can declare the president unable to perform his duties. It says nothing about his health, about legal infractions, just unable to perform. Now, if the president contests it, the Congress would ultimately decide it. But yeah, people, I'm sorry, but we need President Vance. I mean, we just do.
Oh, dude, it gives me the fucking chilly willies when
You think I like saying
dude.
that?
No. Senator Rand Paul has said he has heard of no Republican support for military invading Greenland, emphasizing that even the more hawkish members of the GOP Senate caucus aren't on board with that idea. Other Republicans have warned that actually acting on the Greenland threats would be the red line. It could be the end of his presidency, but they framed it in a more warning than support for the 25th itself. So he's going to have to go forward with it for them to actually pull the plug?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. And I did a video this week on Really American about it, and somebody from Norway responded like, hold on, you guys have senators over here right now telling us they will not give Trump permission to invade, Greenland. And I responded like, that's under the assumption he's going to ask for permission. Of course, they're not going to give him permission, but he's not going to ask for it. He's just going to do it. And I do think that will be the red line, a bridge too far. But these sycophants and enablers, until they have seen him do it, will not see the writing on the wall. I mean, this whole notion that this was a joke went out the window this week. Over the weekend, he declared, tariffs on Europe until I have complete and total control. Like that dispelled any myth that this was a joke.
Yes,
100%. So take it seriously.
Take it seriously. Other people around the world are talking about Trump like this.
President Trump is acting like an international gangster, threatening to trample over the sovereignty of an ally, threatening the end of NATO altogether, and now threatening to hit our country and 7 European allies with outrageous, damaging tariffs unless he gets his hands on Greenland. This is an incredibly grave moment for the United Kingdom, Europe, and our world. Without provocation or justification, the President of the United States is attacking our economy, our livelihoods, and our national security.
I think that's an important point, dude. Without provocation. You know,
Yes.
this is out of fucking nowhere, dude.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's no narco terrorists there, even if you buy that from Venezuela. They're not shipping boats full of ice to us, ice and snow.
Yeah.
It's insanity. He wants to redraw the map. And literally, by the way, Trump tweeted an image today of just that, where, you know, he photoshopped, or someone did for him, an image where all the world leaders were in his office, and the map in the background has the American flag over North America, Venezuela, Canada, Greenland. I mean, he isn't joking, and he is freaking gone insane.
No, and I'll tell you what, dude. If you think for a minute that anyone else thinks that he's joking, this should show you that that's not the case.
What's up, guys? We're here now at a remote port in Greenland, where, as you can see down there, Denmark has just sent in the Arctic Special Forces. They got shiesties, they got camo, they got ghillie suits, they got big-ass dumpers, and they're about to walk up here. I'm shaking right now because I'm so nervous being an American.
What I find funny about all this is everyone's saying, no, there's no problem, everything's cool, and just more troops. Planes keep coming, ships keep coming. We got the special forces here unloading their weapons. There's a troop buildup. We've been saying it all along.
Hello, brothers. How you doing?
What regiment?
What regiment are you with?
No time to talk, dude.
So all the politicians.
Plus, he's got an American accent, so I'm sure they're like, screw you.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievably crazy that it's not a joke, dude. No one is taking this as a fucking joke for 1 second. And
do you know that Canada today said that they're doing military exercises for, a theoretical invasion from America, something that I don't think they've ever had to actually go out and practice, but they are actually practicing it right now?
It's unreal. It's unreal.
Of course it's unreal. And get this, former national security official tears into the Mad King Trump in a profane rant, talking about that letter to Norway. Says, quote, that's rhetoric that we've never seen from a U.S. president before. This is former U.S. Ambassador Mike Carpenter. Says, quote, he's essentially saying, if you read between the lines, you didn't give me the Nobel Prize, so I'm going to use coercive force to take territory from one of your neighbors. This is fucking Mad King tweeting, and it's just remarkable how many senior people in this administration have no fucking balls, no fucking spine, and are peddling this crap like it's rational. Truly, those names need to be kept on a sheet of paper and remembered in the future, what they said and what they did in this moment.
Yeah, yes. Yes, 100%, dude. You got to remember that during Joe Biden's presidency, the GOP's own 25th Amendment was brought up then for Joe Biden, that we got to get him out of here because he's sleepy Joe Biden. You know, He's running this thing.
Yes.
Well, so for anyone to be in the GOP to be like, oh, what is this? I mean, this is being thrown around too easily. Dude, you guys are hastily on this. Like, no, we're not. This is actually the real time that you bring this shit up, dude.
Yes. And Gavin Newsom, currently in my top 3 for potential Democratic nominees for 2028. He's in Davos as well for this summit thing. And he said to the European leaders, should I have brought knee pads for all of you? Are you going to grow a spine and stand up to this man? Yeah. And that is the sort of tough love that unfortunately our allies need to hear right now. Now, I know a lot of them are trying to get through this Davos thing because they're all there. So they're hoping they can corner Trump somewhere and actually talk him off the ledge. But when this Davos, summit comes and goes and there's no resolution, Europe needs to grow a set of balls and just knock it off. I mean, declare tariffs on us or stop trade, stop anything and everything. FIFA should be pulling everything out of America for the World Cup. Like, this is insanity. And I think the more and more, like we always say, the more and more all of us get vocal, the better the odds are that people in Trump's world, in his cabinet, people like J.D. Vance, will realize that I've got the support of Americans. If we do this 25th Amendment thing, America will support us. And J.D. Vance, you'll get to be president, which is what he wants. So
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think it's the only way that J.D. Vance would get the support of all these people, dude, is basically by saying, you know, like, yeah, we don't want that stinker. We don't want that little stinker, Steve, but we'll take him compared to this, you know. So, yeah, maybe he'll do it. I just have very little faith that this ends well.
Well, I think he is going to need to invade Greenland for it to really go to the next level as far as removing him. But it's going to happen because they're not giving him Greenland. They're not going to let him buy it. The only option they would have would be to send troops in. And Trump has been threatening it left and right, including this week, refusing to take it off the table, which is another way of saying it's on the table. So, I don't think anyone's going to capitulate to him over there, and I think we actually will invade Greenland. So, you know.
Hey, dude, no disrespect to American military, but is this not the moment where you look at the thing that Mark Kelly and all those other folks said about, like, you don't have to follow unlawful orders. You don't have to do what you know is wrong. Where they say, like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, dude. I'm not going to go start killing people over a war that means nothing.
Some military bishop or priest or something said today, like, yeah, people, that the moral thing to do would be to ignore these unlawful orders. And like Roxanne here says, people need to post it. 25th Amendment impeachment. Like, I'm telling you, this has to become a mantra, a battle cry, like hashtag 25th, everything. This has to become elevated so that the Democratic people that are standing up and saying it have the support, and that some of these Republicans might actually grow a fucking spine and do it themselves.
What do you mean? Like we did with Epstein, you mean?
That's a whole different topic. But
no, it's not, dude. I mean, you're talking about the same thing. We've been screaming about fucking Epstein forever, posting, not letting it forget. And it doesn't seem to fucking go anywhere, dude.
Well, A, no one has forgotten. B, go check out my video of the giant birthday card that's on display for Epstein today, because it is his birthday. And, you know, the pressure is still on. The problem with that law that they wrote and all voted for is that there was no accountability put into it. There was no, if you don't do it, this is what's going to happen. So now they're all scrambling, trying to go to the courts and get some enforcement. They just assume, since it was basically a unanimous vote, that they would actually do it, and they're not. The 25th Amendment isn't optional. If they invoke it, I know Trump can push back, and then there's going to have to be a congressional vote. But ultimately, that is the built-in accountability. There's no, just ignoring that.
Yeah.
I got another. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with you. I mean, yeah, we got to do it. You're right. I'm just saying, like, I'm losing faith, Steve.
You should be losing faith. You still had some at the start of the show?
I mean, I got a little bit. I got to keep it going. You know, I got to pretend for my wife that, you know, this country's not exploding. I got to pretend for your kids that this country's not fucking exploding. But, yeah.
No, it's fair. And some people in the comments have said, like, this is going to take a generation to restore, you know, the trust with Europe and whatnot. I don't know that that's true. In 2028, if we can elect a sane person, I think we can repair this pretty quickly. I think they will realize that we all screwed up with this Trump thing, and now we're going to do a little mea culpa. Like, they want us, we want them. It's, you know, you have a bad fight with the wife, and then you all, you know, say your piece and you get back to life. I don't think this is a permanent divorce between us and the rest of the world, but obviously it's embarrassing. Obviously we're the laughing stock of the world, and, you know, so it's not ideal. And then, you know, something else we brought up on the show several times under the topic of he's just joking, canceling the elections, martial law. You recall I did that interview with Lev Parnas, and he said Trump is going to attack Venezuela, be in a war, so we can declare martial law and cancel the elections. Now, Lev Parnas, some people have said he's tainted. He's former MAGA, you know, a guy went to prison, all that. Well, Trump is threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act in response to the unrest in Minneapolis. And attorney Ty Cobb, who served as White House lawyer in Trump's first administration and has not gone to jail, warned that the tensions in Minneapolis could go from bad to worse if Trump does declare that. During an interview on MS Now this weekend, Cobb compared Trump's two administrations and argued that he is more dangerous now because of sycophants and enablers encouraging his worst ideas. It's almost as if Ty's listening to our show. He continued by saying, and this is the part everyone needs to hear, quote, "But I do think he desperately wants to invoke the Insurrection Act. I think it's come upon him a little sooner than he and the White House advisor, Stephen Miller, and others had planned. I think martial law is definitely in the cards, and it's a way that he'll be able to control the elections."
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. I mean, he's been talking about it himself and trying to make it sound like it's no big deal. Everyone should get on board. Let me see here. I think I've got somewhere him talking about the Insurrection Act, but we talked a little bit about this. He basically, here it is. Let me play this for you. Oops.
As of this moment, the Insurrection Act also, if you look at it, I believe it was Bush, the elder Bush, he used it, I think, 28 times. It's been used a lot. And if I needed it, I'd use it. I don't think there's any reason right now to use it. But if I needed it, I'd use it. It's very powerful.
Yeah, it is very powerful. And, like all the stuff he says, especially when he's quoting percentages or statistics is bullshit. Donald Trump claims that nearly 50% of U.S. presidents have invoked the Insurrection Act, a law allowing deployment of federal troops domestically to suppress insurrections or enforce laws.
50% of presidents named Trump.
Right. Fact checks confirm 17 out of 45 presidents, about 38%, invoked it 30 times total, with most uses before 1900 and none since 1992. He said, what did he just say that Bush? Oh, yeah, there it is on the screen. 28 fucking times. George H.W. Bush.
Once, I believe.
Twice.
Well, one of them was in another country or something.
Yeah, Virgin Islands hurricane, and then in 92 for the L.A. riots.
Yes, and the L.A. riots, the city was burning, and the governor and the mayor of L.A. all asked for the help. So, those were warranted things. And the others are all in ancient history, literally, during times of, Civil War, which also was an insurrection. So it would make sense to declare the Insurrection Act. Like
when he says 28 times with George H.W. Bush, Ulysses S. Grant.
He was in office for 4 years.
Most by any president. And he did it 6 times in the 1870s for the Ku Klux Klan suppression, okay?
6, 28, whatever.
28.
Yes, Elder Bush was a president for 4 years, and Trump says he did it 28 times. So that'd be like once every 3 months he was declaring the Insurrection Act. Like, wow.
Unbelievable, dude.
I don't remember this country being so bad off then, but yeah.
Yeah, he just, gosh, we know that he lies about everything, but anytime he gives a percentage or statistics, in fact, anyone in his cabinet, whether it's, Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, any of these assets, it's always wrong, just like drug prices dropping 1,300, 1,400%. Like, yeah, it's not possible, bro.
Yeah. Bombi here. He probably doesn't even know what the capital of North Dakota is. When he needs to invade North Dakota, he'll figure it out. But otherwise, you're correct. He does not know, nor would he care. Although, he is trying to invade America right now. I mean, why not? It's in his backyard. It's a quick commute.
Yeah, Kristi Noem was being interviewed, and I can't remember who was interviewing her, but they were talking about the fact that things that are happening in Minneapolis, that, don't you think things are getting a bit out of hand? The interviewer asked, you said that there were a certain group of people that you were going after, and don't you think you have them by now? And Kristi Noem was basically like, no, there's tons of murderers and pedophiles that, we still have to go after all these people to let these citizens sleep well at night. I promise you guys, the citizens are not sleeping well at night with what's going on right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I'm not sleeping well with what's going on right now.
No, dude. Have you heard about all of this stuff happening with the protests with ICE? Because obviously they lit the fuse with Renee Nicole Good, and since then we've seen more people murdered and things just really blowing up.
Yes.
Did you hear about what happened with Don Lemon and people protesting within churches?
So here's the fun thing. I have not seen this video, so I'm glad that you have brought some clips. I've just read some headlines today about the fact that MAGA world is freaking out about it. They want Don Lemon arrested. Trump put out some statement today essentially saying the same thing, that Don Lemon broke the law. Someone said that he can't just hide behind the First Amendment and call himself a journalist. Like, first of all of us have First Amendment protection. Every citizen can be a journalist. But yeah, so what's the hoorah?
Well, dude, to be really honest with you, I don't know what the hoorah is, because this is the deal, okay? Anti-ICE protesters stormed City's church in St. Paul, Minnesota during a Sunday worship service, disrupting prayer, causing attendees, including families and children, to leave the service. The group, around 36 strong, targeted Pastor David Easterwood, also called Eastwood, accusing him of being a high-ranking ICE official involved in local enforcement amid the recent tension. Okay.
I know Nicki Minaj spoke out today against Don Lemon, called him a sea sucker, by the way, a little homophobic. So anything Nicki Minaj is against, I'm for.
I don't understand, dude. I'm really having an issue here. Former CNN host Don Lemon, now an independent journalist, followed the protesters to the church, entered with them, and live streamed the disruption on a platform like YouTube and Instagram, I think is what he was on. Lemon defended his presence as a journalism, interviewing the pastor and the congregants, emphasizing the First Amendment rights. So let's see a little bit of video. This is Don Lemon getting ready to go into the church, and I don't even know if he was invited, to be honest with you. I think he was just there to cover. He obviously maybe knew it was happening, but I think it was kind of a secret.
And I'm just going to walk in, see what's happening.
All right, dude. So they're just protesting, and he walks in live streaming to cover the event.
So the church is full of ICE supporters, and then a bunch of protesters go in there and start shouting at them.
Well, we'll find out, dude. I've got more video of actually them going around and actually talking to some congregants, and I think you'll probably find ICE supporters in here, but it seems like other people either don't support ICE or don't have much of an opinion on it. So
how do you feel about this? I don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on in the Twin Cities right now, but I don't think it's good to fight fire with fire. I think it's good to speak up. I think it's good to protest, but I think it's better to do it in a peaceful way. You don't think this is peaceful? It's trespassing. How would you feel if I went to your house and I started yelling? I think these people would go inside of anybody's house. Well, this is a house of God. In the house, people don't yell at each other. There was a lot of yelling in my house growing up, but we still loved each other. It doesn't necessarily mean yelling is the answer, right? No, but I think it's the way you work things out is that you talk to each other, you disagree. I think maybe if the pastor would try to calm things down and say, let's all talk. I think that it's good to talk. I think protesting on the streets is fine, but I think there's a difference between that and then going into someone's property and then yelling. Would you be okay with your pastor talking to them? Yeah, I think conversations will be great. I think we need more communication. I don't necessarily agree with what's going on with the ICE raids and stuff, but I also don't think fire with fire is the answer.
All right. So there you go. I mean, he doesn't necessarily support ICE, but you heard how he felt about it. Okay.
No, I mean, I think my assessment was right. Those were either a bunch of conservative or MAGA types in the church. Anti-ICE protesters stormed in there. They all got in a shouting match. Don Lemon was covering the whole thing live.
Yeah.
So what's the deal? And first of all, I know it's a house of the Lord, quote unquote, but it's open to the public, so people can walk in there. Now, if they're told to leave and the police show up and they tell them you got to go, then yeah, you got to go. But even at that point, Don Lemon is still just covering it. Is there any shred of evidence that he organized this whole thing or egged it on?
No, dude. There's not any shred of evidence on that he organized this at all. He, like you said, he's just there to cover it. I don't understand what all the hoopla is about. This is the actual pastor that they're accusing of David Easterwood, also called Eastwood, of being a high-ranking ICE official. This is him. Okay, so they're basically saying that, and he wasn't even there on this Sunday. He had dipped out, and there was another preacher doing service. So I think if this was really organized, that guy would have been there if they went to get what they were going for. You know what I mean?
So he was notorious for being the preacher there. So that's why the anti-ICE protesters probably showed up thinking he would be doing the sermon.
Yes.
Okay.
And let me see here. I think this is the preacher that was actually there. Let me see. Yeah.
David Easterwood is a pastor here. He is also the director of the field office for ICE in St. Paul. So someone who claims to worship God, teaching people in this church about God, is out there overseeing ICE agents. Think about what we've experienced. The murder of Renee Good at the hands of ICE. A Venezuelan national shot by ICE. A 6-month-old baby who almost died.
So, dude, all fair. Let me get rid of her.
Evil in our community.
The thing that I don't understand here is that she's obvious there representing some form of media. You haven't heard word one about her, you know. So, yeah, I don't think that Don Lemon had anything to do with this. He was there reporting it. I know for a fact because I've been watching his videos earlier from the weekend that he's been there covering different stuff. So, yeah, I don't understand why Don Lemon's taking the brunt of this. I only worship Nick Reynolds. Wow.
Yeah.
That makes me uncomfortable.
Wow. I was trying to find the comment to put it up on the screen, but somebody said, you know, it's because he's black, he's progressive, he's gay, he's speaking out against ICE. Like that's why. That's all they need to, you know, start trying to accuse him of stuff. And
but
of course, everyone in Trump world wants to prosecute everyone who is not a MAGA Republican. So because they're just dying for the chance.
I also don't, I mean, this is a sad view on things, but, you know, you listen to her and she's like, oh, this guy is a director of ICE and he's a preacher and he's saying that God is good and God does this. Like, I have to separate at this point in time religion with, you know, finding it crazy that religion would support ICE. We've seen it happen, dude. There has also been a line drawn in the sand amongst the religious, right? Of saying like, oh, those weren't the teachings of God that I follow. And then you have the evangelicals and some of these other assholes that are like, yeah, God wanted this, you know, get them out of here. These people are crazy.
Yeah, listen, I've been preaching about hypocrisy in religion for years. But usually that's more the fun stuff, you know, like you're against premarital sex, but you're banging away or cheating on your wife or something. Like what these evangelicals or any religious person who's still supporting Trump is enduring at the mental gymnastics that he is literally a murderer, murdering human beings.
Yeah.
Whether it's people on boats or people in the street protesting, like, I mean, there is nothing godly about any of this stuff going on. I mean, you know more about the Pope than I do. How's he feel about Trump world?
Yeah, he hates it, dude. He's denounced all this shit. I mean, yeah. I mean, anyone who's followed the teachings of God, and I haven't, dude, as far as like, I haven't read the Bible from cover to cover. I just know at the end of the day, as much as you know, this is not God. This is not Jesus. Like, these are all the things that everyone knows about God, that this is not what's supposed to happen.
Clearly. But yeah. You got anything else in this topic, or can we move on from Don?
We can move on.
Okay. Naomi here, I think that's her name, bringing up a great point. Profit over people. So today is January 20th. It's been 1 year officially of this shit show. Oof. And in a scathing editorial published 1 year after his return to the White House, the New York Times editorial board argues that Trump has used his second presidency to increase his own net worth while failing average Americans on the economy. A review by the editorial board, relying on analyses from news organizations, shows that Mr. Trump has used his office to increase his net worth. Give a guess. What do you think, Trump? Not his family, Trump personally. And they're telling this estimate is on the low side. But what do you think he's increased his net worth first year?
$5 billion.
Well, no, you overshot.
Okay, $3 billion.
You do that sometimes, though. So
yeah, I do.
Let's see. He has made $1.4 billion, but wait, there's more.
Okay.
And they say we know this number to be an underestimate because some of his profits remain hidden from public view and they continue to grow in real time. But even if you just want to say, our president increased his net worth by $1.4 billion this year. Estimates for his entire family are well over $4 billion.
Okay. I was handing out statistics like Trump does. 5 billion, maybe 6, maybe on the high side of 10.
Right. Let's see. Trump has made at least $23 million from licensing his name to overseas entities. The Trumps are pocketing $28 million from this Amazon documentary that's about to fail horribly of Melania. The Times editorial board also points out that major tech and media companies have paid Trump over $90 million for settlements since his reelection. Qatar gave Mr. Trump a $400 million jet that he's going to use as Air Force One and then take with him when he leaves office, assuming he lives that long. And the Trumps have made at least $867 million through various cryptocurrencies. And when I say the Trumps, I mean Donald and Melania, not even getting into the kids.
Yeah, it's unreal, dude. I mean, the fact that people don't seem to care about any of this stuff when, you know, we think back to Jimmy Carter divesting from his peanut farm, you know,
Right.
and this seems to be okay. Like he's he's donating his salary, Steve. You know, the guy's got to make a living.
Yeah, he donated $200,000 so he can make $1.4 billion. And I'm so sick of all the mega types. So Hunter Biden got a job just because of his last name. Like, yeah, he got a job, and it probably was because of his last name, but it's a job. He's not just pilfering us all for billions of dollars.
If nepotism is the issue, like we can talk about Hunter Biden, but these are different stories altogether.
Yes.
You know.
Someone says, Steve, the damage Trump has done will never be fixed because the trust the world has for us is no longer. The world can't trust us anymore. They think that we could go through this all again.
Sure.
I think they will trust us once we try to fix this. Right now, they're all going, why are you people letting this happen? I did a great video this weekend from a Danish comedian, and the title of his little, roast of Trump was, something like, Dear America, can I speak to the manager? And his whole thing is about why won't Congress do something? And it's what we're all asking. So I understand, everyone looking in from afar wondering, but that's what we're talking about today. Like, what is it going to take to invoke the 25th Amendment?
Yeah.
The calls are legitimately increasing right now. So, something's got to happen. But in the meantime, I think we always say, we just got to keep the pressure on, keep the heat on, keep talking.
Yeah. Trump was, somebody asked him, a reporter a while ago, about, do you remember President Trump when you said that you were going to give everyone a $2,000 check? And he was like, did I say that? Did I say that? I remember the 1776 thing that I'm doing, but I don't remember the $2,000 thing. Like, he doesn't even remember all the fake shit that he is promising people.
Yes.
And the whole no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, like all of these little slogans that these maggots are holding on to that think this makes him the greatest president ever are not coming to fruition. Trump did 1 year in sit down and look at a camera. Well, I guess he was standing on those swollen ankles, but he had a lot to say about what he had accomplished in this first year.
Amazing. Tomorrow is the first year. Think of it, 1 year. I don't think there's been a term like it. I don't think any president
That's right.
has had a better worst year that we've had in terms of success. Again, we've taken our country from a failure with open borders, no business, everything going badly, terrific inflation, the highest inflation in history, prices that are through the roof. And we brought prices down. We have very little inflation. We have a great economy. And the prices are coming down still further. But I inherited a mess, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Yeah, because we're burning in hell. That's the only reason.
It's a dumpster fire, dude. Yeah, it is hot.
Those dumpster fires do put off a lot of heat. You know, as always, I'm just going to say whatever because his little sheep will believe it. But people are starting to wake up. The pressure is mounting, and it's just absurd. It is absolutely absurd. And the next real, mega meltdown is coming up on February 8th. And potentially your Seattle Seahawks will be right there for it.
Why? What do you mean?
Super Bowl.
Oh,
Sunday.
yeah. There's Bad Bunny involved.
Well, so, I mean, we've all been talking about Bad Bunny for months and months now, but just this week it was announced that I kind of wonder who, I know it's, what is it? What's his friggin' name? It's not, I want to say J. Kelly, R. Kelly. Jay-Z. No, Jay-Z's company.
That's funny.
Jay-Z's entertainment company is who picks these acts. And the Super Bowl people, the NFL, hired that company because they want to go after a certain demographic. And as much as I've said for years, like, you should be having like freaking Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, like dad rock, older generation rock bands, because that's the real audience of the NFL. Like, they're going after a younger, hipper, global audience. So Bad Bunny makes total sense on that front. But I do feel like they're kind of punking Mega right now because they just announced this week that Green Day is going to be the opening act. And Green Day has been going after Trump for several years now. I mean, we covered a couple of years ago when on New Year's Eve, they changed that line from American Idiot from I'm not part of the redneck agenda to I'm not
MAGA
part of the
agenda.
Yeah, and MAGA world freaked the fuck out. So they've been announced. And by the way, Super Bowl in the Bay Area. Green Day is from the Bay Area, so it's cool that they're on. But so not only is everyone expecting some sort of political, protest from Green Day and from Bad Bunny, but Green Day just this weekend did a concert in California. And I'm going to play like a little 30-second clip. This is the song Holiday, which was originally written about George W. Bush and the Iraq War, but they updated it, and I even put the lyrics on the screen for you because I think it's phenomenal.
Thank you.
You're welcome, I think.
Thanks, Steve.
This song is anti-fascism. This song is anti-war. We stand up for our brothers and sisters in Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Miller now has the floor.
Yes. And the funny thing is the last two set of lyrics are the original, but they still make sense. Sieg Heil to the president's gas man as we're invading oil or, Venezuela for the oil and, destroy the Eiffel Towers while Macron just today is speaking out against Trump invading Greenland. And all. I mean, it's hilarious how much some things do not change.
Yeah. We always talk about the fact that, we were on the air with this show back when George H.W. took office, and we were like, oh, no, this is fucking terrible, dude. Right. And how much we would give to go back to that moment in time because it was nothing. I mean, even though in that moment we felt like, it was kind of the same, we had no idea. We had no idea, dude.
Exactly how much worse it could be.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always said. Like, during Trump's first administration, people are like, you don't want Mike Pence to be president if Trump is impeached or dies. And I would take normal crazy over unknown crazy any day of the week. Mike Pence is a shitty Republican conservative Bible thumper, but I know what to expect out of him. And he's not insane. He's not going to trample all over the Constitution. I don't want to give J.D. Vance quite that much credit,
No.
But he doesn't have the sway, the swagger that Trump does. No one's going to let him just get away with all this crap. So, yeah, would I rather have Vance over Trump right now? Yeah. And I truly think we're all going to get to experience that, whether the 25th is invoked or whether we win the midterms in the fall and impeach the guy, or most likely Trump dies at some point this year.
Of natural causes.
Of natural causes, obviously.
Yes, please.
Did you see the woman in Nebraska this week that got a knock on her door from the Secret Service?
No, for what?
God, she posted on X. It's something like she said, when Caroline Leavitt gets what she deserves, I hope it is televised. How do you take that statement right there?
Yeah, I mean, just that she wants to see her embarrassed, as I would think, just like, yeah. I don't know. I don't take that as a death threat.
Well, a bunch of Trumpers did. Oh, the comments, you're going to jail. That's a threat. Secret Service knocked on her door 2 days later. She filmed most of it. And, the Secret Service agent honestly did not seem thrilled to be there, because he asked her right away, like, what did you mean by that? What did you mean by, when she gets what she deserves, you hope it's televised? And she said, I'm hoping, like so many of us, for Nuremberg-style trials. That's what I mean. I mean, I hope there's accountability, and like Nuremberg, I hope the whole freaking world gets to watch. And the agent was like, okay, well, that's fair. I mean, you got the right to free speech.
Talk to you later. Yeah.
Yeah. And then her husband was like, what is crossing the line? Like, what would be too much? He was like, oh, it takes a very specific threat. Not, I wish the president was dead, but I'm going to do it. Like, you have to make a very specific threat. So under any other administration, no one would have even shown up for that kind of thing. But in Trump world, the agent in Nebraska felt the need to at least go talk to the woman. But yeah, after a quick talk, was just like, yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm going to leave now.
Seems fair. Speaking of Caroline Lyon Leavitt, did you hear about the audio recording of that she made with CBS News after they did the interview with Trump on January 13th? Did you hear the audio?
I've heard about it. Do you have the actual audio?
Yeah, this is what Caroline Leavitt had to say after taping an interview with CBS News.
I see the BS.
Yeah, that's right.
Make sure you guys don't cut the tape. Make sure the interview is out in full.
Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah.
You said if it's not out in full, we'll sue your ass off.
Wow.
So, yeah, make sure that airs in full. He said if it's not out in full, we will sue your ass off. In the context of that, obviously, the demand followed Trump's prior $10 billion lawsuit against CBS over the 2024 editing of Kamala Harris's interview.
It's insane. I mean, again, mega party, religious and all that, but they're also supposed to be in favor of free enterprise, don't interfere with businesses, but you're going to tell journalists how to do their job. It is so routine, and you and I know this from years of experience, that in interviews, you sometimes have to edit them for time or for consistency or conciseness. Like some people will just ramble and ramble and ramble. So when you get the answer, it is okay in the world of edited journalism and broadcast. You can cut someone's comment. You can't take them out of context or splice things together to make them sound like they're agreeing. Like, obviously you can't do that. But editing something for time or for, just being on point and not boring the shit out of your audience is completely acceptable. So it's insane that they think they have that sort of sway over CBS. And did the person at CBS say, how dare you tell me how to do our job? No. What'd they say?
No. CBS aired the 13-minute interview unedited that night, stating it was their independent plan all along.
Yeah. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Don't worry. You don't need to tell that. And then even more disgusting, I don't know if there's video of this, but I read it, from a firsthand account. Barry Weiss, this woman took over CBS News. She's a Trump friendly, to say the least.
Yeah.
And she's in charge of their news division and has just been, shitting all over it. After that interview, she went over and gave Trump a kiss on his cheek.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President.
See, dude, it's someone made a comment earlier about people being in bed with people, follow the money, follow the people. Like, all of this is that. All of this is that. Where are my knee pads? Yes. Infinite Asylum says, yeah, it's exactly right. I love all the memes with Caroline Leavitt with just fucking Cheeto cheese around her mouth.
Yes.
She just licks his tank constantly, and he loves her for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. God. And speaking of the memes, I love all of the barrage of memes we've seen since the Nobel Peace Prize thing. I mean, did Trump never really think that he would just become a laughing stock for doing that? How weak and pathetic and what a joke it makes him look like. And I've just been so impressed with the netizens out there for just hammering the shit out of him. And I
Yes.
think my favorite one is the one I sent you, where Daniel's son from Karate Kid is handing him the All Valley Karate Championship trophy from 1984.
Yes. So freaking good, dude. I've seen a couple other from like I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's from the Kennel Association for dog shows. There's like
Yes.
dogs handing over the trophies.
The
and
Westminster
shit.
Dog
Yes,
Show.
that's
title.
right. Yeah.
So Charlie from the Chocolate Factory giving him the golden ticket, and it's just been
So good.
on and on. So
I-
yeah, that didn't play well.
The thing that sucks about all of this is the fact that he loves attention no matter what the attention. So I don't think it bothers him. Oh, there's me. Maybe he even thinks I did get the All Valley trophy too. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. He has acted that way before where like he'll see something online that's completely fake and he'll be like, I don't remember that. Pretty good.
Right. Yes. Yeah. All right. We got a few more minutes. Got any more video we can bust through?
Yeah, dude. Let's all be sad together, obviously, for all the things that are taking place in Minnesota right now. But this really, really got me. And I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. You watch it and tell me your thoughts, okay? We love dancing animals at ICE protests, right? Takes all those guys. Why, dude?
Listen, if that was Fox News being tackled and thrown to the ground, I'd be all in favor of it. But it's just yet again, it's somebody out there protesting, dressed as a freaking fox. And I did a story on that this week. And apparently the guy was told that you could be arrested because you're standing in the middle of the street. But as I've discussed on the show before, Nick, I love watching police body cam videos, specifically of drunk, entitled Karens, male and female, getting their windows broken and, being thrown to the ground or being tased because they're belligerent and they're ignoring repeated orders and blah, blah, blah. Whenever cops go to arrest somebody, the first thing they always do is say, put your hands behind your back like you're praying, turn around. And it's always a calm, cordial thing until the person starts resisting.
Sure.
Then they even try to muscle them. And I've heard them 100 times, I'm going to throw you to the ground. Stop resisting. Like, I'm going to throw you to the ground. Like, they never just walk up unless the person has been already violent or throwing stuff. Like, not when they're dancing as a fox in the middle of the road. Would they ever just walk up and slam somebody to the ground?
No.
It is just unnecessary. It is cruelty. Cruelty is the point.
Yes, we have the right to peacefully protest. Again, like you said, if maybe he was in the middle of the road and he needed to move or whatever, it's not how it's handled. Obviously, they're trying to make a point by showing peaceful protesters that you don't get to protest. They're tired of you, and they're going to show you all about it. So we just celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Things were quiet this year on one side of the aisle. Juneteenth, off the calendar. We don't even talk about it, dude, because, well, President Trump said so. So
yeah, it's funny. Kennedy works at a school, and she said, that she had Monday off. I was like, is that still a federal holiday? Has it not been taken away yet?
Right. Not
Okay.
quite yet. They were talking about making this, we'll trade it in for Trump's birthday. He's made those comments, But yeah, we took it off for Martin Luther King Jr. And you used to be able to go to the park with your family for free on these holidays. That is no longer around anymore. That's been taken away, along with the Gulf of America. It used to be the Gulf of Mexico, but look at this, Steve. This is the new park cards if you would like to get into our parks around this great country of ours.
Did you know that this year they decided to ban putting a sticker on your National Parks Pass? It'll actually render it void. You won't be able to get into the park if you have a sticker on it anywhere. which is kind of a funny coincidence. Speaking of coincidences, this year I also happened to release a new product called the Park Pouch. It's a very easily removable and 100% customizable sleeve that fits right onto your U.S. National Parks pouch.
Yeah, so that's a wonderful item to go seek out because I don't want my park card to have a picture of Trump on it, dude. I find it disgusting.
Well, and that's a retaliatory thing because they announced that a couple of months ago that his stupid face was going to be there on the card next to George Washington. I mean, disgraceful. And then there was this whole online movement of, putting little smiley face stickers over Trump's face. So then they just a couple of weeks ago, or a week or so ago, announced, well, we changed the official rules for the park passes. Now, if there's a sticker anywhere, just anywhere,
it'll become null and void. You can't use it anymore. So
what a thin-skinned dipstick narcissistic asshole.
Yes, 100%. Steve, we talked a little bit earlier in the podcast about the Epstein files. We don't want to forget with everything that's going on right now about those Epstein files. And here's a quick video of two people talking about it. One reasonable, one Democrat, and one completely unreasonable and Republican. My fear is that this is how all Republicans are starting to talk about the Epstein files.
They should follow the law, but let's not get our knickers in a twist here.
Let's not get our knickers in a twist over child. Why are you talking like that? It's insane. It's insane. The Epstein Files is a multinational, multi-generational child and woman trafficking ring. So your attitude right now, you're sort of like, well, shucks, devil begun, is just horrifying to me. Every woman in the world that is watching this, why are you acting like you have no idea what's happening here? Scott, this is...
He asked me a question about following the law.
And what
I
I'm
said
saying
they should
to you
follow
is
the
your
law.
attitude. Yeah, and they're not following the law. They're 30 days late on following law, and they didn't explain why they redacted the first things in the first place.
Yeah. Let's not get our knickers in a twist. Yeah. No, don't minimize this bullshit. It was a law. Like Steve mentioned earlier, there was no ramifications for breaking the law put into this, which is exactly why they broke it. But yeah, let's not start minimizing this like, oh, calm down, everybody. No, stay on this Epstein shit.
Spoken like somebody who doesn't know someone who ever got sexually assaulted.
Yes.
I mean, certainly if any of his family members were part of the Epstein ring, he wouldn't be so cavalier about it, so nonchalant. But as you know, I've had people in my life that have suffered lifelong consequences from being sexually assaulted as a kid. And it's absolutely fucking disgusting. And it's why everyone just wants some accountability, some answers. And we're just stretching this out for no good goddamn reason other than the obvious fact that they're covering shit up. And it's like that Detroit auto worker that called Trump a pedophile protector. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene confirmed it, that Trump said, it'll hurt my friends if we release this. You are by definition then protecting pedophiles if you're worried about hurting your friends. He didn't even say hurting just some people, his friends. So yeah, he's a pedo protector. Don't know if he himself is, but he's certainly protecting them. And it's beyond disgusting. And, to ignore the fact that they're disregarding the law is bad enough. But fucking Jennings sit there, don't get your knickers in a twist. Go fuck yourself.
All the while, this week alone, Kristi Noem has come out and said, hey, we're specifically grabbing pedophiles right now through these ICE raids. You care about them there, but you don't care about them here. It doesn't fucking make sense to me. So release the Epstein files in full, unredacted, for crying out loud.
Absolutely. And I do think it's funny that today is Trump's 1-year anniversary of the second term. It's Epstein's birthday. And the only reason I know that is because I did the video yesterday about the giant birthday card that is right now sitting on the mall in D.C. The secret handshake group that's done a lot of this protest art. They did this gigantic size of the Trump infamous birthday card where he drew the silhouette of a teenage girl, not an adult. And it's sitting there on display right now for his 1-year anniversary. And good luck ignoring that.
Yes, beautiful. I'm sure he'll have it taken down. He's been known to do things like that in the past. That's going to do for us, guys, gals, and our non-binary pals. The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. We give you 2 shots each and every week. Your midweek political weekend review, and then we'll cap it off on Fridays.
Indeed. You can go to thevocalminority.net if you want to email Nick and I directly. We do read them. We respond to pretty much everyone. So do that. And then, of course, everything you see going on with Really American, from our full-length podcast to the short-form daily videos, some of the news clips you see being shared on social media, support all of that. We were talking about CBS earlier, just falling off the cliff as far as, true journalism goes. Well, we don't have any corporate entities controlling us. We are truly independent, and we're calling it as we see it, but we can only do that with your support. So please subscribe and please share.
Keep it up. We appreciate all the folks in the chat today. This will be posted very soon for all others, so tell your friends about us. The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. We bid you adieu.
And we say bye-bye.
And that'll do it for another edition of The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. Thanks for joining us on the Really American Media platform. Check out all our social media wherever good social media is found. Until next time, you tiny little bastards, good day.
Good day.
Good day. And fuck ice.